Take notice of every single part of it, the marrow and the cartilage, the ending and the start of it. I do it for the art of it. Put my sweat and my heart in it, cultivate it and I garden it. I share it and I warden it. Keep it honest so I never have to pardon it. The people, how they marvel it. Solid like a marvelous. Wonderful and marvelous. Beautiful and barbarous. Beat addicts anonymous. Original isonymous. Primal flow. You can call me optimist, it's supersonic, hypnotic, philosophic, descent Teutonic. It's not bubonic, we sipping Prophet's tonic. A splash of bourbon on it, that Maison Rouge is brolic, that Alhambra Masonic. You think it's alcoholic, but this is future logic. I'll go rhythmic beyond it, minimize the negs and you maximize the positively on the shits like I got the beat in pocket. And who want talk it, we in that rocket bracket, real champions, nothing stop it. That ball is rolling, looks to me that ship is going, ain't no mooring, that ship is foreign, my ship is soaring. Take notice, I'm on a flight tonight, excite no boring, excite no taxes forum. All year long talking, this is not the forum, the proper venue, and may I lend you a tissue for your tears as the media invents another issue for your fears. My truth is like my magnet, I approach it as it nears. To get the angle right, I use another couple mirrors. Take notice, breathe deep and let it go, it came fluently, minus the shine and the jewelry. I realign to the truest me. Turpin the time, make a fool of we. I stay focused and take notice. Hold a thought as I contemplate the cruelty. Carry no baggage, duty free. Cleared my thoughts, made it plain, no truancy. In a language that ain't new to me. Recently I grew to see that we have been convinced to demonize the wise and represent the foolery in this new era time. Same tree, new cherry. Fourth and fifth, our moves are legendary for a fact. We're not goons, we're emissaries, whether we're moving with tools or schedularies in tune. Whether June or February, batteries not included, assembly necessary in the meeting place, closer than your capillary, with no black blood, cause black means dull and dreary. Sweetness of the juices to darknesses of the berry. Copper tone, burgundy, brown skin beauties, keep shining on them. Explosive incendiary, take notice. Take notice while I mold the medley. Hold tight as I rock it steady. Oolong, now that's a light bevy. The clouds part when the night's ready. And truth speaks when the heart's empty. A full belly and a goal make a man deadly. God body made of gold so they can't tempt me. I think of what the left did when the right kept me. The biggest foes in the rows will be mad friendly. Rise up too quick, get mad bendy. True land gentry, dispossessed in a mad frenzy. Always question the last entry. Walk softly and land gently. But if you're backed into a corner, drop the world on them. Unleash, unfurl on them. Go beast, go Earl on them. Go ham, go Canaanite. It's tough love, call me Amorite. Take notice, all ye Moors and sundry. Reform and regroup like Gumby. I'd say we're fortunate, not lucky. We're standing on the shoulders of giants, family. Trust me, happiest man alive, I take my joy on the run. Original man, I take my food from the sun. Keep it phonetic, cause I'm still having fun. And we'll still be at the top when it's done. And it's a must we fill the think tank till the needle breaks off. And keep giving thanks till you scream your face off. Take notice.
Anonymous. Woo! Take notice. Our house, Billmore. Nips. Take notice. Anybody listening? I'm uplifting, I'm not belittling. Your emotions win. Offended by my whispering. Pride in the lion's den. Surrounded by Meraki men. Black mama with a pen. Heavy line to write, I'm losing friends again. Rooted in love, I didn't hate step. Exotic doctrines, forgotten man. Woo! Back in history books, take notice. Come and take a look. Ain't no half stepping, ain't no halfway crook. You're halfway on the page, I finished the book. Take notice. Rhyming in circles within these squares. Triangles up with X appears. Short here, I don't care. Stay natural, I appear. walking on land, feeding like air. Take notice, babes, come here. She said a jealous friend is your worst enemy. They Judas me a long time before Brutus befriended me. Take notice, Juali laid the foundation. A stone refused by a builder is his own destruction. Dysfunction, cause he's so color function. And anything after black is a fiction. Be a victim, not a victim. You make it hard to listen, but I'm here to uplift him. Take notice, you're more than the sky's limit. You're a star, just live it. They're gonna get you. Baby mama said it. They killed him before COVID, along with 100 other realistic. Take notice, a finger on my child, I lose it. And for that finger, you lose it. Tie you to a pole and stone you for amusement. Speaking about amusement, take notice. More's that I focus, change with the knowledge, move with a purpose. So if you call me a clown, then Morocco is a circus. Take notice, offer and acceptance. You signed a contract when it triggered your emotions. Take notice, Juali changed my life, and you compare the prophet to polite. Cause you don't know the magnitude, you can see the light. You sell out the movement for a bag of rice. Take notice, we agree to practice love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. 5 principles, 5 titles, with focus. Article 15, that's where your hope is. The Great Seal, now you see what my point is. Take notice, vaccines, new access. They shoot situation instead of bullets. The public can't comprehend the weapon silent. King Alfred, read it. Take notice, it's sure or de facto. Imperial persona or a Negro. Shadow, stunt double. Natural people, the world's in trouble. Nationality's the order of the day. L's and Bays, indigenous everywhere, even in caves. Take notice, thoughts on the mind, there's no limits. And I'm created in the image. So you can't bound the most high with human concepts. So you can't bound X-Bit all that gossip. I exist, break all illusions with an iron fist. Take notice, on God like self. More books, more shelves, more bush for the memory cells. LOL, you're lower as hell. You blame it on the devil, don't lower yourself. What more can I do? You in denial and won't drink too. I'm pulling files just to see who's who. I want to bend and show you temples and move. Sacred symbols looking like you. I notice. You're back asking the same question. That's how I know you didn't pay attention. Take notice. Dilla. Yes, son. I had fun. Salute. Woo. North Star. H12.
In the streets of T.O., everybody pushing a screw face. Won't stop street life, always facing a new case. Hates baseball, wears caps for Blue Jays fitted. No brown, we don't need a green to get lifted. A society of multicultures, feeding off the black dead carcass like vultures. While they feed blacks, say you insult us daily, but make drug mules of their hood babies. When I was in school, we used to see vagrants. They still bums today asking for change payments. Sisters turning to mothers younger. Youth are do programs for starving or hunger. Roaches run on their face while they sleep. In beds with bugs infesting the mattress and sheets. Many little brothers resting in peace, cause they followed their big brothers that ran these streets. Drug dealers calling themselves doctors and shrinks to stop breast cancer, wear a shirt that's pink. To stop youth violence, get rid of the guns I see. Youth need to be taught about true Ali. That would lower the crime stats. Youth have no job, so here's a free CD of my tracks. Bag ladies and buggy pushing men, drink Lysol with their drug addict friends. Pimps pushing new kicks in little sis face, but she's too scared to say that she got raped. And he got raped too, wanting to be a singer. Mayors and judges drinking their bloodage for dinner. Upstairs, I cover my ears in tears. Little bro beating his mom, he's under 20 years. Every day of his life, these streets are tripe. Started selling, now he smokes the Snow White. Blind man plays the sax. Girl run over playing with blackberries on train tracks. Can't trust everybody you know, that's how it is. In the streets of T.O., Baby needs new shoes, but daddy got the newest when he chills with his crew. A young girl is undressed in the back like slave cargo, praying for help from Harpo. NTO, my boy Lex stayed inside his apartment. Gumma died of sickle cell, my heart didn't harden. Blew down of an aneurysm. Philly just got shot up by two of his own brethren. NTO, it's a grisly scene. 5-day search, Philly found dead in a ravine. Dead and injured because they shot up a jam. Police chief implemented King Alfred plan. People think it's jokes, but when the smoke clears, you're spilling your beans, handcuffed to a chair. DT's yelling and spitting in your face. Give names, or you won't beat your case. Palms sweating, goosebumps and shakes. It is a snitch, but still, you're gonna get shot in the face. NTO.
So I was at the lamppost, enlightened, hoping I land close to some love so I can spread it on every damn coast. Meanwhile, I'm on the side where many men boast. Shit's rough when you got cuffs, keeping your hands close. Lampposts like streets where warriors fight beasts. Running through the six, I hope you wearing the right cleats. Keep a screw face, you might just die over white teeth. F-cops, I hope the killer's smoking the right cheap. For survival, shit could get savage and primal. Something in the water killing us on arrival. Put that on the Bible, put that on the spiritual and tribal. Give thanks for a new day. Look over the city, the view of a blue jay. My nephew might call me over a new J. Represent the city no matter what you say. Keep it true, Faye, from T.O. to the UK.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes it a literal lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Salt Bay, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. And no, but do I lay in plain sight.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes it a literal lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Salt Bay, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. And no, but do I lay in plain sight. But people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. Stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for life, the book of Genesis. Astroplane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life. Finish him.
Morris Omar, key man or oracle. Using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical. Lost in metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic. Facts slap a dirty more or a Drew Ali Craig. Calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved. Or cut like a close shave. Drowned in my brain waves. Squashed by heat waves. Activating Kundalini. Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini. Selassie I in exile. reptile. Reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real. All I see is false evidence. DA are feminists, stomped on by elephants. More like no prejudice, but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the pull, magnetic resonance. Apis horns of the sacred book, all maleficent. Great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence. Ace all the testaments. Tap into remembrance, never to forget again. Use energy right, not put spell effects on men. Wandering the earth plane with no they live shades. Keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades. Not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets. Holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Islam.
Islam, Grand Sheik.
Peace more.
Yo, all them classics back to back got me going crazy over here.
Crazy.
Yo, crazy. I said, yo, if we was in a war and that song came on the intercom, I would have
everybody's done. Everybody's done. All you people had all day to call. As soon as we freaking go live, your phone just ringing. Soon as all the music's playing. Like, what the hell is this? All day. Can hear from everybody. Now phone's ringing.
Yep.
Too late. So just wanted to remind you. They've been going for years. Moorish Heritage and History School, eyes wide open. Every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Because realize that we have to, what I was thinking about, Brother Yusuf, was introing with you talking about what you wanted to talk about with the studying effectively.
The study effective.
When we did the Sons of Allah, and you were saying that you wanted to talk about studying.
Oh yeah.
So if you could just touch on that idea about how were you studying? Like what's studying? You know, study, then study yourself. How did you exercise that?
Okay, like
with regard to the Moorish paradigm, and you know.
Yeah. I comprehend.
Yeah.
But you know how it's you get to the point where now it's like, well, what stage of studying, you know, because there's different, you know, when you study in the beginning, and then they're studying, you know, when you're like 3-4 years in, and then they're studying, you know, like when you're 7-8 years in, you know what I'm saying? Like you start reading stuff different. You start, you know what that word means. You know, you know, when you first come, when I first started learning and studying, you know, that's the crazy part, you know, when you're going to sleep, dreaming about reading, you know what I mean? You're waking up to sharp pains in your body because you done slept on the book all night, you know, like you know what I mean? You like, that part, you know, I look at that's the fun part, you know, when you up all night, no sleep, 3 days, you know, just constantly studying, and you've just been up you just go to the store to get something to eat and then come back and you're right back to studying.
Yeah.
Like
The good old days. The good old days.
that was perfect. You know, going downstairs in the dungeon. I remember where I used to domicile, going in the basement, you know, like that's where I used to write all my writs. That's where I used to kick these colonists behind, was in the dungeon. And it's cobwebs, spider webs, you know, it's mice running around, everything. I was doing that work in there, like getting it in. I was in the dungeon with the library studying, you know, with the doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's what it was for years. It was just, you know, RV Big Publications. There wasn't nothing else. You know, when you first came in, it was, you know, 2-3 other websites you can go on. But other than that, in the beginning, there wasn't much websites you can go on with a scholarship foundation like RV Bay Publications where you can study at. It wasn't none. You just had to stay on RV Bay Publications. Whatever you got from there, you took on to libraries, you took on, and that was the other thing, going to thrift stores. Thrift stores are your best friend. The little hand-me-down stores, that's where I got mostly my Black's Law dictionaries, my unabridged dictionaries, and the whole journey of studying too, because I was listening. I think Brother Miz was talking about going to the library and stuff like that. I remember going to the library, and that's when I got my first unabridged dictionary. And it was crazy because I think you probably remember, Grand Sheik. Go to the library, the librarian guy, you know, I'm looking for a dictionary or whatever. And he comes back with one of those new dictionaries, you know, revised dictionaries. And I told him, I said, I'm not really looking for one of those dictionaries. You know, I need one of those unabridged. I want an unabridged dictionary. He goes, I know exactly what you mean. And he comes from around the back and he gives me the American Thesaurus Dictionary unabridged. And he was like, you don't got to check this one out. This one's on me. That was my first unabridged dictionary, was from some librarian I didn't even know, you know what I mean? Like the journey part of studying was like amazing, you know what I mean? Going I got my Black's Law Dictionary 5th edition from the thrift store for one note, right? I get to the cashier to cash out. I put the book up there. He's cashing me out or whatever, and he goes and says, man, I just put this book up there. That always bugs me out. Like, how, like, you just put this book up there and I came in and got it, and it's a Black's Law Dictionary for one note. 5th edition. And then I got my 4th edition.
Go ahead. Hold on a second. Before you even too far, just keep that in your mind right there. What you were gonna say. I just want to check something. Let's see. Let's really do it this way. Okay. Say what you said again.
I got my Black's Law Dictionary from the thrift. Okay, but this is the thing. The dude who cashed me out, he just put it up there, and I got it for one note. The blue cover book. It's an all blue hardcover too. Hardcover. One note. I got the Black's Law 5th edition. Black's Law Dictionary 5th edition. But then my 4th edition, I got that one right there. I got that one for one note. How much is it?
95.
Wow. One note at the thrift store. One note. Went right in there. It was right there. It was right there. What did I say? It really wasn't hidden. That's how I felt when I seen it. I was like, oh wow, it's just right there. It was just right there. Brand new. In my 5th edition.
Killing people, yo. 11th edition, 147. They're killing people.
Wow.
11?
Wow. 11?
11. 140. All because more started studying. Trust me, these weren't this price.
Oh, no.
Trust me, these weren't these prices.
No, not at all.
You could have got your Black's Law Dictionary for probably 60.
Mm-hmm.
60 probably the most.
Mm-hmm.
And probably 2010, 2011.
Yeah, it was, and that's after shipping and handling. It was like 53, 55. Yep.
Shipping and everything.
Yep.
That's a shipping.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that. But I got my 4th edition. Now I want to say the ancestors did it. It was an accident. Okay, so I got it from the library. And this was years ago, man. So Grand Sheik, I'm telling you, I'm bringing the book back the next day. I'm bringing it back. I'm downstairs in the basement studying. I get up to put the clothes in the washing machine in the dryer. All I heard was smack. I turned around, the Black's Law Dictionary done fell. It ripped, the cover broke and everything. I was like, oh my goodness. Right? And I'm on the phone with my sister. She was like, you better not ever bring it back. And I never bring it back. So that's how I got my word edition. Like I was scared. I didn't want to bring it back because I broke it. I'm like, I'm probably gonna owe the world. So, but this the thing. I still go to the library. It wasn't even on the card.
That's crazy.
Grand Sheik, it wasn't on the card. I still can go to the library, use my card, everything. They don't ask for it, nothing. I'm talking about the journey. The information is key, but the journey of studying, it's the funniest thing in the world. Yeah. It's the funniest thing in the world. You know the Bobby Hemmett thing where he said, "Yo, you just start throwing books and opening up the pages." That's when I found. Yeah. That's when I found in that art book I got from the thrift store for $1. I found in that thrift. That's when the first time I did the Bobby Hemmett. Threw the book, opened it up, it landed on Montezuma's Moorish hat. That's when I learned Montezuma was known as a Moorish king. From that, when I threw the book, it opened up and landed. It was right there. Oof. I was like, oh wow. Had the headdress. I got the pictures and everything.
Yeah.
But me, the journey part, like, and I'm like, yo, Bobby Hemmett said this. You know, like, you're just gonna start throwing, you're not even gonna read the whole book. You're gonna get the book, get what you need out of it, and you're done.
And you're done. That's it. You know what I mean?
People ask me all the time, you read all these books? I look at them like, brother, like how? 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 You start getting to the point too when you study where you start noticing where it's like, well, as long as I know what words mean, I really don't need to read that book. Like, as soon as a word come across you, just look it up. Once you look up the word, you already know what's everything going on. Either the person starts.
Slow it down.
Yeah. See that? That's amazing. You don't even have to read no more. You just start getting your dictionaries. Any word that is said, any word that come across you, you look it up. And it's only going to be two things. Either that person's lying or, he's being de jure. That's the two things you're going to see. Either somebody trying to be colored and play you or somebody's being de jure. You don't have to go through this whole history thing and just look at what the word means. And it's done.
Done.
It's done. That word don't mean that. So now we don't have to entertain the debate. It's not even the debate because that word don't mean that.
Exactly.
But just the journey. I love the journey part. You know, meeting new Moors and stuff like that. I remember me and brother Hassan when we went to sit at the feet of the masters. Mother Raz Mariah, Seton Ra was there. And me and brother Hassan up 2-3 o'clock in the morning studying, reading I think it was the Clock of Destinies that we was up reading 2-3 o'clock. It was just a house full of Moors, brother Amazite. You know what I mean? Like that type of studying. You know, Moors on foot going. You know what I mean? Like the journey, Grand Sheik. You know, like I love like when Miz was talking about going to the lot. All I kept thinking about was, man, that's and then Corona happened. It was like we were on a roll with the studying, Moors getting together, boom, 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 and then that slowdown happened. But the studying was, you know, and once I started seeing, that's another thing, the depth. When I saw that studying was the embodiment of truth, I remember, like if you wasn't, it was in my head, like if you wasn't studying, you were lying. That's how bad it was to me. Like, because studying meant the embodiment of truth. So if you're not studying, you're lying. That's how hard we was going, Grace. I was going. Like, you know, you couldn't even nothing. All I knew was words in the dictionary. My Moabite tell me, "Oh, you're just a computer. you're just you're just a book. All you know is what definitions mean." That's because now I'm not being tricked. Nobody complaining. But it's different now. You know, everybody's looking for the guy to pay them for the package and all. It wasn't like that when I came in. Okay, I told the Grand Sheik this. Now, this is one of our master teachers. I'm not going to say their name, right? But when I first came in, one of the master teachers gave me one of my best lessons, right? He told me, you know, I'm just coming in information. I wanted to know what would I have to do to, what do I, who was it? What did I need to know as a Moor that's going to help me and my family and my son, right? They told me 180, and I tell you whatever, you know, I'll tell you 180 notes. And I was like, what? You know, but me being me, I'm like, brother, that don't sound, you know, what Brother Taj is saying, nationality is free. You know what I'm saying? That's when everything I'm hearing, you know, you can't charge for nationality. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, why is he charging me? But the whole time, what that made me do, that was another reason why I ended up studying the way I ended up studying, was because I know I didn't have to pay that 180 notes. And people paying 10 grand, that 180.
That ain't nothing compared
That
to.
ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. But the 180 had me so hot, and I didn't even pay it. Just the thought of, oh, you was gonna charge, brother. I can learn more. All of my that was the fire I needed. But then
Yeah,
when years down the road, that was one of my best lessons I ever had. Because if I would have just paid the 180, I'd have been lazy.
yeah,
I'd have got complacent. I would have, well, I gave him the 180. I'm all set.
you're good. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
yep, yep.
yeah.
It was the best lesson I had. That was the best one. That was the best. I was so happy that he did that because it just made me hungry. Like now I want to know everything now. I'm gonna be better than you. That's what it came to be. I'm like, oh yeah, all right. I'm good. All right,
It's like that.
all right.
Yeah.
But these Moors now, they paid it 180. And it's like, see, you just failed your first lesson.
Mm. Mm. And keep in mind they're paying 10 grand now.
Exactly.
That was what?
Exactly.
180 then. That was what? 2000 what?
Uh,
Roughly.
8? No. 2010, 11?
Yeah.
2010, 11? Yep, 2010, 11. No. 2012. Yeah, 2012, 2013. What are we, 22? Wow.
I know.
I was in that basement for years. They had me in that basement for years.
You were on the crypto before the crypto.
Yo, see? See? I've been on lockdown. Lockdown was nothing. I said lockdown. What's that?
What's that?
What's that?
What do you mean you can't go somewhere? When's the last time I've been somewhere? What are you
I
talking
ain't,
about?
I ain't going nowhere. I ain't been nowhere. I ain't going to the club or I'm not doing none of that.
Been in these books, yo.
In these books.
Been in these books.
In these books.
Just in these books, just because. What the hell? This is what's in this book?
Nothing was more important than nothing. Nothing was more important than them books. I remember my Moabite got me a bookshelf for Christmas. So the so-called Christmas she got me, I'm already, we gonna celebrate. We wait until the prophet's solar return to celebrate Christmas. That bookshelf came in there. I was like, whoo! I was so happy. Over a bookshelf, Grand Sheik. We talking about bookshelf.
Bookshelf.
We talking about bookshelf.
The things that make Morris happy, yo.
You would have thought I had a Bugatti Gucci conveyance or something. You would have thought I was just putting it together. I'm gonna put this books up here. It's gonna be alphabetical order. I had it all in my head.
Yeah, the plan. Yeah, right.
No, that don't last long. You Morris, we get too many books. That book
yeah, where's the librarian?
Right.
Where's the librarian? At that point, it's over. At that point, it's over. You just have shelves.
Yeah.
Just have shelves from now.
Yeah.
Set yourself up to have a shelf. If you get like a four shelf, if 3's okay, you don't want it too high or whatever like that.
Right.
Unless it's in the wall and you're not moving. And this is just going to be the library. You want the movable stuff.
Yep. Don't be like Brother Yusuf and just take over a section of the house and now it's just piled books. Like that section of the house is closed.
Gold. Just closed. Just gold. Just gold. Mountain of gold in this one room.
Yep.
Nobody could use. Just gold in there.
Yep.
Just nuggets. Just in there. Just nuggets in there.
Yep.
Imagine you open a door. Yeah, just go over there. You're gonna get some of the books.
Yeah.
And you open the thing and it's just nuggets.
That's really what it is, though, Grand Sheik. That's really what it is.
Even when you open the door, some of them just brush by your foot because it's just.
Yeah, like DuckTales. Like it just goes everywhere. You're just swimming in it now, snorkeling. Yeah, it's too many books. It's too many books. And I mean, back to the journey again. So, I help refurnish houses or whatnot. And, people be leaving stuff in there and stuff. I remember I saw one of them, the big American unabridged dictionary, the big one. The one that got like 1,000 pages. The thick dictionary. I saw it in the basement, right? Now, I'm the only one out of all the guys that's working there that really read. Man, I saw that dictionary. I heard me and the guy next to me because I thought he was going to grab the dictionary. Like, I just nudged him. He was like, yo, he was like, yo, over a book? over a book. And I was like, yo, I'm sorry. He was like, over a book. Yo, he was so mad.
That ran over. What you mean? Weren't you rushing for it? Like,
Like it was gold coins. Like I pushed him like it was gold coins.
oh my gosh.
Yo, to the point where the dude who we're working for, he said, yo, you pushed what's the name downstairs for a book? Yo, I'm like, yo, they told you. They told you. For a dictionary, and already got over 50 dictionaries. Didn't need another one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the point when you realize, oh yeah, McDuck.
Yeah. Just like Scrooge McDuck, he was just like that. A penny fall out his throat on his grab. He killing everybody for it. Yep. I was just like that for that book. Just like that for that book.
Oh my gosh.
Salivating over a dictionary.
Yeah.
You look up how much them unabridged dictionaries going for. Ever since Moore started talking about unabridged dictionaries, everything going up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that real. Now back to the with regard to the studying again, because I want to bring in this thing now.
Mm-hmm.
With when you heard about Marcus Garvey and Noble Drew Ali mentioned in the same thing, how did that connect things? How did that make sense to you?
Now I didn't. Now I had to. Okay, that's different for me. The Marcus Garvey pair, like, cause you know how you gotta have, when we first came into this information, we have some foundation of us as Black people or whatever, right? So you would have some type of knowledge of Marcus Garvey, the people who they let us have some.
Yeah.
Right. My thing was, see, this is all me. Me growing up, I never wanted to participate in any of that stuff. I never watched a slave movie. I never watched any Jim Crow, nothing. I just didn't like that. I didn't like it. So I never would participate in it. I didn't want to learn about some Black invention guy. I just didn't want to know. And I never knew why I didn't want to know. I just didn't like it. But now, growing up, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense why you never wanted to know about slaves and Jim Crow, because it ain't got nothing to do with you. You were more. Okay. But I'm glad it was like that. So when I learned, like when I learned about Marcus Garvey and the Prophet, I learned it like my son learns about being a Moor. Like all my son knows is Moor. All I know is the Prophet and Marcus Garvey was the forerunner. I don't know nothing else with the background stories of Marcus Garvey. I don't know that.
Okay.
I don't.
That's
Right.
crazy.
Right. You see what I'm saying? All I know is
that's crazy.
You see how I said it? That's why I said it. That's why I said it like that. All I know is he's the forerunner. I don't know him as the other stories that they have about him out there. I don't know that Marcus Garvey.
Okay. That's crazy. That is a good one.
I know. Just like my son, he just knows he's a Moor and been a Moor all his life. He don't know.
He knows Noble Drew Ali, and that's it.
Right. Right. He don't know Jesus, church songs, and he don't know nothing. He don't know that. He know the Prophet. You know what I'm saying? He know, when he closed his eyes and he think of something higher up and stuff like that, he don't You know, just like in the video, you know, when Brother Kaiser spitting that line and he's talking about how Noble Drew Ali came, and instead of showing that blonde hair, blue eyed Jesus crap, you know what I'm saying? Oh, my son he didn't have to deal with that blonde hair, blue eye stuff. He just see Noble Drew. As soon as he think of a higher power, his vision goes to Noble Drew Ali. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's how I am with Marcus Garvey and being the forerunner. And you know, the way we study, you know, knowing what a forerunner really is, you know, John the Baptist and stuff like that. That's who he is to me. You know, I don't know him as nothing. That's why when I was telling you earlier, yo, I think Marcus Garvey was an emperor who they took and made him an asylum in London. Like, that's how high this man is to me. I don't know him as nothing else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think he was an emperor. And when they kidnapped him and took him to Europe, what was it like? It was London, right?
Yeah, London, yeah.
London. That's what they do in the movies. They kidnap one of the emperors, put him in as an asylum in some beautiful place or whatever, but you can never leave. I feel like that's what they did to Marcus Garvey as an emperor, though. But nobody's going to tell that story for us because we're not, you know, we're slaves from Africa. They're not supposed to tell that.
Not supposed to, but they're getting it.
But that's what, you know, somebody else would have to, well, you know, the Marcus Garvey, he did it. I don't know him as that. I don't know him as that. I know the letter the prophet wrote him. You know what I'm saying? I know from there. You know, getting kidnapped, getting put on with birthrights by the prophet and stuff. I don't know because and I'm glad I don't, because what is it called now? The RBG, the RGB, what's it called?
Or the Black Power guys up?
Yeah. Isn't that supposed to stem from Marcus Garvey?
Yeah, RBG.
Yeah, see, I don't know nothing about none of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All I know is the part where he was put on a nationality. And I'm glad I don't, because now I don't have to be confused and choose sides or nothing with Dr. Omar, with they fraudulent, because they're not doing the Marcus Garvey stuff. They're not doing that. They're not pushing the Marcus Garvey nationalism that he was pushing. They're trying to just be black and get grants.
Yep. Grant getters. The grant getters. Well, let's check this thing. Let's see what Garvey was about here. October 1925. I would like to tell you how it was that I came to know more about your organization and the purposes for which it stands. Major Earnest Sevier Cox, a man who spent 6 years of his life traveling all around the world in order to study racial problems in various parts of the world, wrote the book called White America. Major Cox was for several years in Africa, worked in the mines in South Africa, went through the whole length and breadth of Africa from the Cape up to the Cairo, 5,000 miles, studying the various problems that came under his observation. He wrote this book, White America, the purpose of which was to find a real and ultimate solution to the great problem which has vexed the mind and heart of all America now for 200 years and more. His book was very violently criticized by certain newspapers, which I believe are under the influence of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. So it was a great surprise as well as a great pleasure to Mr. Cox when he received a letter from a member of the Garvey organization in St. Louis. The letter told Major Cox that its writer had seen a copy of White America, had read it, and felt tremendously encouraged to find that there was a white man advocating essentially the cause of the Garvey movement. We wrote that there were many things in the book which he could not approve of, as his point of view was different, but it was a great joy to members of the chapter of the Universal Negro Improvement Association to find that there was a white man who was seriously advocating those very purposes of which Marcus Garvey stood. So if KKK guys are copying Garvey and all that, white supremacists, or is Garvey copying them? But remember, the missing key is that they're playing Negro, black, colored, white people and all the other crap that has nothing to do with the human family. Because once you get into the race game, you're either superior or inferior. There's no other statuses in the race realm. You're either a superior or you're inferior. Period. So because Garvey wasn't on telling us that we were Moors, and he's trying to improve the Negro, that can't be done, which is why, like we were talking about the letter, when Marcus Garvey was in prison in Atlanta and Drew Ali went to meet him and he sent the letter back to let the Moors know that I went to see Garvey and he's game with everything that we're doing. He's going to let the Garveyites know. And at page 268 of Philosophies and Opinions, Garvey told them about the nationality. And that's how you're going to be happy. We talk enough nation stuff. Now we have to get the nationality now. And keep in mind again that the nationality is not taking us back to Africa somewhere. The nationality is right here in the Americas. We're Aboriginal and indigenous to the Americas. We're the autochthonous people. We've been here for thousands of years. If Noble Drew Ali said our flag is 10,000 years old, obviously we've been here. Obviously we've been over there. Obviously we've been back and forth. So the cradle of civilization is the world. The whole thing is the cradle of civilization. It's not one part. What type of madness are you talking about? So the stuff was being brought all together. And we were supposed to be exercising as a nation, and everybody's supposed to be born like little Yusuf. And all the other Moors out there who have children that they're teaching their children about their nationality and their birthrights, so they don't have to go through the BS that we went through. Because we already know once you get into the race game, you're either an inferior or you're a superior. So from the message standpoint of every race of people having their own superiority, Garvey and Major Cox saw eye to eye. There's no debating. Zero debating. We see you eye to eye. That yes, we stand for have our own, but we don't have our own in no across the Atlantic Ocean. We'll have our own right here. Matter of fact, wherever you're at, we're claiming that too as our own. And then you're either going to go with the treaty and start paying your back taxes and all that stuff. Before we even talk about reparations money, you got back taxes to pay. That Georgie admitted that these Europeans weren't paying their taxes. But again,
That's just funny to me because they harass us about so-called bills. If we 2 seconds late, they coming to cut their stuff off and all of that. These people ain't paid taxes in over 200 years. 200 years.
200 years.
200 years. They've been living tax-free from the Moors. Tax-free. That bugs me out. That bugs me out. And then but but Moors who say, oh, they don't pay tax, they call them sovereign citizens and all of that stuff. But the letter from Georgie, they not only are Moors not supposed to be paying taxes, we're supposed to be collecting taxes.
Yeah.
But as soon as the Moor said he don't pay taxes, and this is coming from Moors too, they be like, oh, that's that sovereign citizen Moor stuff. Whether the treaty said we supposed to be collecting taxes. We didn't even finish our sentence yet. Yeah, I don't pay taxes. And we supposed to be collecting taxes from these foreigners. That's the whole sentence. Say the whole sentence.
Yeah. Straight.
And that bug ain't, but as soon as you say you don't pay taxes.
They don't want to say the whole sentence.
No. You can't, they won't even let you get half of it out. As soon as you say half of it, you're a sovereign citizen.
Right. So once you got into the black game, the white game, there's bona fide, there's without doubt an inferior and a superior. And in the race game, if you have dark skin, you're automatically assumed inferior. Right? Moors, we're in the nationality game. We have nothing to do with this. This has absolutely nothing to do with us. So the people who are in it, and they're playing pink Black Lives Matter on the street and all that for people who got murdered by police. Right? In the race game, the dark-skinned people are automatically inferior. Automatically. They'll tell them whatever, but they really don't feel like that. Modern Europeans who are white supremacists, right? Because they know that people like Garvey or whoever else, if they're not saying integration, they're saying that they want their own nation. And what the modern Europeans are saying yeah, sure, we give them their own nation back in Africa when it's whatever like that, because they already know over here is your birthright. But if they could get you to abandon it under the guise that you thought you came from over there, well, then if it's abandoned, anybody could come and claim it after, which is what they've been doing, which is why they haven't been paying their taxes, because you want to play Negroes and you want to pay black. We're not Moors. We're ancient Egyptians. You're ancient Egyptian for real? You're telling me 2022, you're pulling out some ancient Egyptian ID? If we say, let me see your ID? Stop the BS. Stop the BS.
But hold on, but see, my question is to all of that. I don't even know when these people even started talking about having an identity. Where that came from? Where the idea came from now that y'all know that y'all need to have an identity? Like, where did y'all think of that from? Or y'all been sneak studying from the Moors? Because it just, oh, epiphany. Oh, we need to have an identity. Yeah, right. That just came in your head. There's only one person I know who went through something like that, and that's Nobuju Ali. It probably did that. I don't know about none of these NCBs doing any of that.
None of that.
Any of that. That always bothers me. That, oh, we're the ancient Egyptians, brother. You never even thought to have an identity. That never even came across your mind. But that proves again to me that they rather be anything else but Moors. And the fact that they selling out, they working for the other side. They know that you just figured out the whole thing, but they're gonna push anything else but Moors because that's the whole game. They as soon as somebody do that, oh, we're ancient, whatever. They working for the other side because I just broke it down. They already know we need an identity, and that comes from the Moors. The Moors push we need to have an identity, a nationality. Nobody else says that. You guys are black and you're proud. Remember, as soon as y'all talk that identity stuff, that comes from the Moors. That always bothers me that they and then the star galaxy people too. That's their identity. Y'all didn't even think to have an identity too until the Moors started talking about everybody sneak studying from the Moors. Everybody. And then go behind closed doors and do like they've been doing. Go behind closed doors and figure out a way to change the name on the sign. That's what they're doing.
And again, change the name of the sign in front of the people who've been going there with it under a different sign for the past how much ever years.
Yep.
Nobody said, hey, how come you guys changed the sign? Nobody.
Nobody. I bet you it was somebody's child, 13, 12 years old, looking at their parents. Like, Mom, why did they change the sign? Why did they change the sign? And you know how parents, NCB parents, mind your business. Stay in the child's place.
Yep.
You get the shun answer. You're not going to get we're selling out and we're going to raise you to sell out too. They ain't going to tell their child that. Because I'm pretty sure a child asks. I'm pretty sure because they ask everything. They always ask, why? They ask all the time.
Yo, hold on. Talk about that thing again. Go back to the thing of studying.
Oh,
and the relation to proclaiming the nationality with the paperwork.
Oh, okay.
And studying the paperwork. Give me one sec.
Now the paperwork aspect, I done said this before too. That was 8 months of sitting there. I was at work, hurt, and I got the opportunity. I guess I got lucky or whatever to be hurt. I was out almost a year, and I just sat in that cafeteria and had all the books, encyclopedias, dictionaries. My supervisors, so-called supervisors, coming up to me, the employees there, asking me if I'm going to school and stuff like that. You going back to college or whatever? And it wasn't none of that. It was just I just wanted to study myself, study just to know. 8 months of that, but it was 8 months of because I had to do my paperwork and I wanted to proclaim my nationality, correct my status, correct my appellation or whatnot. And once I got the paperwork, you know, because Grand Sheik at this time, Grand Sheik, but he's been saying it too. But at this time, everybody was being real adamant about reading your documents first before you send them in. So, and you got to remember, at this time when I'm at work, Grand Sheik's doing class every Tuesday. When he's doing class every Tuesday and Sunday, I would be at work. He would have an earpiece. If you ever watched Grand Sheik doing class, he got an earpiece hanging from his ear back years back. That's Brother Yusuf in his ear at work. I used to be in his ear at work, listening to class faithfully every Tuesday, every Sunday. And I'll be listening to class, talking to the Grand Sheik. This is while I was at work. And at this time, he's talking about, you know, reading your paperwork before you sending it in and stuff like that. So, but it was different. It was read your paperwork, write it, read it again, write it. But I ended up doing this numerous times, reading it, writing it, looking up every word, looking up words that you think you know. But as soon as you think you know a word, that means you don't know, especially when you know etymology. Especially when you know etymology. As soon as you think, you like, oh, I think that word, you don't, then it don't mean that. 90% of the time, it's not going to mean what you thought it meant. It don't. So just keep, that's what I was doing, writing, and that's when I figured out, 8 months of doing that, you're going to figure out a lot of stuff, on your own, where, the prophet starts talking to you, you're like, oh, that's why he said, if you're the only one, be the only one, because you can be the only one. But according to my paperwork, like I can be this. I didn't know, how everybody in Grand Sheik, remember people was charging people for signatures? Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that, Grand Sheik? Charging for charging for signatures. Remember that?
That one, that's crazy.
Remember that? People was charging for signatures for you to the guy is drowning and you're sitting there yelling, yeah, I got a life jacket, but give me 500 and I'll throw the life jacket.
and then you're drowning going through your wallet or whatever.
Exactly. Exactly. And then you drown anyway, but the 500 is still floating. See? Yeah, tell you. But that's studying that way, writing it, looking up every word. That's what helped everything, Grand Sheik. That helped everything. That's what it opens up the doors for everything else. Then you start seeing, oh, this ain't what this is about. This is about me, about changing the way I think, changing what I know, how I speak, what I really see in this world. What you saw yesterday is not what you see today. Yeah. And it'd be the same thing, but it's not this, because it'd be the same thing you saw yesterday, but because of what you know, that is no longer that. That's amazing to me. That part of how my brain works for that stuff, like everything, whatever it was, everything's getting questioned, whatever it was. Any movies, TV. Other day, my uncle was listening to an old movie or whatever, and they was talking about the CIA being in Yankee Stadium. Yeah. Just in the movie. I'm in the kitchen. I just overheard it. Now I'm studying it. I'm like, how? Only way the CIA can be in Yankee Stadium. He watching a movie from like the 60s. And I'm like, only way the CIA can be in Yankee Stadium is if the owner let the CIA in there. And then I just Googled it. Is the owner of the Yankees CIA? Popped right up. Popped right up. CIA own Yankee Stadium, own New York Knicks. They own what's the name of that stadium everybody be in? Madison Square Garden. That's all CIA owned. All of that. All of that. And I got all this, but again, that's back to the paperwork, being in that 8 months, listen, studying with the Grand Sheik, because now you've changed, your way you're thinking. A word can't even, a side conversation don't even get by you. You hear everything, but you hear it as a more now. That studying part, the embodiment of truth. That's what I'm seeing with the word study. Everything there's no side conversations without me listening and breaking that down with a Moorish mindset. I don't know how to think NCB, and then I have to talk like that, or if I'm explaining something to somebody, I'm like, well, in that world, how they do. Like, I have to talk like that. They would want you to blah, 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 because that's not reality. Like, that's not real. That's not what really goes on. I question everything. You question everything. And that's when, but that comes from studying. Well, why does that mean that? How does that work? How does that affect Morocco? How does that affect me as a Moor? Why is that there? All the time. But when you're in CB, all you thinking about is, when's the next whatever, whatever's the next NCB thing to do, whatever they're doing now. I don't even know what they're doing anymore, Grand Sheik. I don't even know what they're doing. Have no idea. The closest I seen NCB is when y'all had on New Moral Order, whatever guy came on there. I was like, wow, I haven't seen that in a long time. I don't be around that. I don't see that. I don't have to see, I don't see blonde locks and stuff like that. I don't see the dyed hair, fitted hat. I don't see none of that. I don't see that. That's not where I'm at. But again, great the study, but the studying where you're getting all of that. You remember in the Karate Kid, the Mr. Miyagi, the wax on, wax off?
Yeah.
And then you get to learn the kung fu and all of that. But right now, you're gonna watch these conveyances. You're gonna watch these walls, and that's but that's the fun part.
Yeah.
That was the fun part. The washing in the walls was the fun part, because now once you're doing the kung fu and everything like that, everybody testing you. You the master. You the master now, right? Yeah. But people want to test the master. It was better when you was wax on, wax off, right? Yeah, I know. Still wet behind the ears. Nothing. Now so much. And when I mean testing you, I'm not saying Ritz, and I'm saying testing you, as if, when you hear NCB talk and you want to challenge it and you want to correct it, now you're being challenged. What are you going to do? What you going to do? You're going to let it slide? You're going to speak up? That's the challenge I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the Rit stuff being challenged. I'm talking about you being challenged personally. What are you going to do? Because now you know so much information. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
That it was better when it was wax on, wax off.
Yeah.
It was, because now you know. So what you about to do?
What you about to do now that you know?
Yeah. Sometimes I be like, man, y'all lucky I know. And I have to just breathe and turn around and just go about my business, because I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And to go against that knowing, is destruction.
That's destruction. That's the hell or whatever everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
The devil. You know how they be like, the devil told me. That's it right there.
Yeah. Not going with the instincts.
Yep. And you know.
Instinct told. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about with the getting, because you're gonna have that. You're gonna have it. The rich stuff is corny. I'm talking about you. You know the truth. You either gonna lie to yourself or tell the truth to yourself. No, and you're gonna have that swallow, not them. You're gonna have that nasty taste swallow after your reaction. You're gonna have it. Either you're gonna have a good nasty taste reaction, or you're gonna be standing there proud on your squares or more from your reaction. That's what the Rick stuff was. It's there, but that feeling of that taste of you knew the truth and you still did wrong. You knew better and you still did wrong. Nothing's worse than that. At least if you stand on your square and they kidnap you, you feel proud of what you've done. You go home, you let something slide. Well, let me just be NCB. When you get home, that be on your brain all night. That be on your brain all night, eating at you. It
Yeah.
be killing you. It be killing you. I know it do. That's nothing's worse than that. Nothing's worse than that. Nothing. Nothing. You're gonna be having a good day the next day, and that thought of what you did the other day gonna come swipe right by. Remember you was being black the other day? Oh. Oh. Nothing's worse than that. That's what I'm talking about. Those are crucial for me. Those are because you're dealing, like the prophet said, study yourself. Nobody's more important than yourself. You got to deal with you. That's going to affect everything. That affects everything. You dealing with you. You got to deal with you. I'm over there still, the other day we had a full moon. I'm livid, Grand Sheik, mad. And I knew I'm mad. I'm going to argue, debate, all of that, right? I had to research it. I already knew, but I want to see what the information says. And I typed in, does a full moon make you angry? The thing that popped up on Google was, if there's a full moon, don't argue with Aries because they're in it to have an argument with you all night or whatever, right? And I was like, brother, I didn't ask you about no Aries. And I'm an Aries.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? That's the first thing. I'm like, yo, come on, man. Come on, man. I'm like, yo, see, no chance. Yeah, so you go sit down.
Hey, once you know.
Exactly.
Once you know.
Once you know. So now you know what's wrong with you. So, that person over there that you thought cut you off because you had your fez on. No, 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 no. That's not what's going on. That's not what's going on. That's not what's going on.
Blaming the man for nothing. Man just gonna go try to get some milk and get back to the house to catch the
Yep.
game. Whatever. You blaming him for your bad.
Yeah. You see? See? But I know that, you know what I mean? I'm like, see, you know it's wrong. So now you have to do better. Don't be going around making up things in your mind like, oh, remember what they said the other day? Call them up and let them know about what. No, you being exactly what you studied.
Yeah.
You ain't got to do that. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You just ready to go be an Aries. But again, RV Bay Publications is the foundation. If Mother Roz Mariah didn't teach me about, the Zodiac, brother, I'm still looking for Jesus.
We Christian, baby.
You heard what she said. You heard that lady say, you remember that, Grand Sheet? And then you down south asked me about my fez. And I was like, oh, no, I'm a Moor. What's your nationality? Just like that. No, I'm a Moor. What's your nationality? Oh, no, I'm a Christian, baby. Wow. What did I say? Conversation over.
No.
Oh, no, I'm a Christian, baby. There's some Moabites, too. I'm down south, old Moabites. I'm like, oh, what's your nationality? Oh, no, I'm a Christian, baby. Oh. Okay. Wow. She needs some RV Bay publications in her life.
Straight.
Yeah, and then Grand Sheet, I'm pretty sure you noticed it too. Coming in, I mean, after years of studying, you start noticing that, hold on, these people do get it. Like, you do understand. I know you understand.
Mm.
You just purposely selling out now. You just purposely doing what you isn't it like but you done did it for so long. But when you first started noticing it, wasn't it shocking? Like, dang, son, y'all really know the truth and you still gonna do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yo, it was shocking.
Yeah. Like the ones who know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I'll tell you. It's Pale History Month, right?
Yeah.
Yo, we're talking about my father, who I rip constantly about us. He knows everything, Grinchie. I ain't even got to do all that. He
Yeah.
knows. He knows, right? His church stuff is on Skype. So I can see him down south because he's a deacon in his church, right? Bugs me out, all of this. Key down now. I'm the so-called Cherokee Indian stuff. It's through my father. Right
Yeah.
there, him.
Yeah.
He's in church with his dashiki on for Black History Month, talking about slavery. And I'm like, brother, you full-blown Cherokee Indian. Like, that has nothing to do with you. Nothing. Zero. Zero. Like zero. Like zero. Like before the Moor stuff, before even Moorish,
Yeah.
Moor and all of that. Like, bruh, you're a Cherokee Indian. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? Yo, that was so crazy to me. I was like, yo, this is amazing. This is amazing. So I'm teasing him, right? I call him up. I said, yeah, I saw you on the internet, blah, 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 selling out. He was like, oh, man. I said, yeah, I made your grandson come over there and see you. He was like, now, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I was like, nah, I ain't gonna let your grandson see you selling out like that. But just know that is out there. That's out there. You know what I'm saying? Your grandson's gonna see this. Like, yo, that's my grandfather up there selling out. Yep. They know. They know this is my father. What they say? Closer to you than your own jugular vein. Yeah.
For real.
Selling right out. Right up there. Got to give an honor to God, all of that. Daishiki on right at the church. I'm like, brother, look at this, man. They all know. They all know. Pastor got his fez in the church. His fez be in the church. His fez in the church. I seen it. It's in the church, in the office, in the back. I seen it. They don't hide it. They don't even hide it. That's why it's shocking, but it's like, yo, like the book said, it's easier to name the people who aren't Masons than to name the ones who are, because that's how many people who are Masons.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I said, well, dang, we ain't got a chance. And then it goes right back to the prophet. I just told you, take it and save yourself, brother. You still, what you doing? What you doing?
Throw in the towel. Throw in the towel.
There's more Masons than there is non-Masons. That's amazing. Remember, I sent you that picture of the so-called vice president. What's her name? Kamala Harris, whatever. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Steve Coakley was talking about in the video. This is in 93, 92, about watch them links, sorority, fraternity, the links, LINKS or LYNKS, the Link Society. So I'm watching the video that he did in 92. So I type in the Link Society in 2022. And guess who pops up? The vice president lady in the Link Society taking her pictures. It's all NCBs too. All of them. All of them. It's not a European thing, it's a Morris thing. And as I'm looking at the pictures, all I hear is Steve Coakley saying, "We better watch them links." That's all I hear. You better watch them links.
Watch them links.
All NCB selling out.
For real. Islam. Thanks, more. You already know. You already know. It doesn't take much. You know what I mean?
Think you only read a paragraph though.
All we're doing is sticking our head from out the veil. That's all.
Oh yeah.
Sticking our head out the veil, and the hour and a half just went by just like that.
Yep.
You know, like you said, we just read a paragraph.
I remember studying like that. You looking up one word, and then by the time you lean back, you know that Grand Sheet. Come on, you know that. You're not even back to what you were looking up. You're on a whole nother.
Whole different stuff.
You don't even know how you got here. You lean back, you be like, "How did I get here?"
Nowhere. Crazy. How did I get here?
Yo, the book that you were reading is still in front of you, but now you got this whole other thing open. All types of stuff. I done did it. Maps, other encyclopedia. I was like, hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We got to figure this out. My sister calls me screaming. I got the exotic map. England's in Arkansas. Why is there a street? Why is the whole highway pike called Henry, named after King Henry? I was dying laughing. England's in Arkansas. Yo, she called me yelling. Mm-hmm. You know, King Henry was the Moorish Inca emperor. Wasn't he that? Wasn't he that? One of the first European Moorish Incas emperors?
I don't even know.
Or was that Charles? One of them was on there with the so-called Incas, and he's supposed to be.
Oh, with the picture.
Yeah. Yep.
Lined up.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's either Charles or Henry.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know which thing you're talking about.
Yeah. Yep. But then when you start, well, England's in Arkansas. Well, that's up the street from the Inca Empire. So, like, yeah, I can see that happening now. You know what I mean? Like, not coming across the shores and then going down there. And I'm like, nah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Islam,
Grand Sheik.
Peace and love to all the Moors. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to Marcus Garvey. Honors to Marcus Garvey.
Yeah.
Supreme honors to the Prophet.
Supreme honors.
Ali. Oh yeah, they say it's Charles V. I don't know if you saw the chat.
Oh, Charles V. Okay.
Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to all the mothers. And honors to all the Moors. All the Moors worldwide. Study, study, study.
Ain't nothing else to do.
Study, 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 study. It's not yours. Peace and love.